Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisa Schneider. I am the PIO for the Fountain Police Department. I want to thank you all for being here today. You will be hearing from our Administrative Commander, Mark Christiani. He's going to be giving you a brief overview of the events that occurred yesterday. You will also be hearing from the City of Fountain Mayor, Sharon Thompson. She will be providing a statement. Once they are both done speaking, we will have some opportunities for questions. Okay, I did provide you all with spellings of our names. If there's anything further that you need after that, I'll get that to you, okay? So here is Commander Mark Christiani.
Thanks, Lisa. Thank you, everyone, for coming this afternoon on this difficult time for our department. On February 2nd of 2023, yesterday, about 4 p.m., Fountain Police Department's Directed Investigation Community Engagement Team, better known as DICE, was asked to assist the Department of Corrections Parole Division with locating a known carjacking suspect from the Pueblo area who had active felony warrants. The vehicle was believed to be northbound on I-25 at the time from Pueblo. Several law enforcement agencies in the region were assisting with locating the vehicle, and it was determined to be stolen at a later time. The vehicle tracking we had led officers in Colorado Springs jurisdiction near the Citadel Mall, at which point the Colorado Springs police joined the effort. Their tactical unit began to assist in locating the suspects along with many other agencies. At about 5:30 p.m., the stolen vehicle was seen by officers near the Lowe's on North Academy and Platte. Because of the reckless actions of the suspects driving the vehicle, officers were unable to safely maintain visual contact at that time. It is believed the suspects were attempting to steal another car while they were in the Lowe's parking lot, but officers were unable to confirm that information due to losing that visual contact. At about 7:15 p.m., the vehicle was located again southbound on I-25 heading towards the City of Fountain. The vehicle was eventually tracked to the area of Highway 85 in a leg race circle just north of here, where the Fountain Police Department located a vehicle occupied by 3 suspects. Officers attempted several tactical vehicle intervention stops in an attempt to stop the vehicle, but were not successful. The vehicle was followed south on Highway 85 through the City of Fountain, where the suspect vehicle entered the interstate traveling south in the northbound lanes. Due to the dangerous actions of the suspects, officers disengaged at that point and stopped following the vehicle, terminating our pursuit due to excessive speeds and the extreme risks to our public and our citizens. Officers attempted to prevent northbound traffic on I-25 at mile marker 126 when they learned the vehicle made a U-turn and was now traveling back northbound. Officers that were set up on the stationary perimeter positions observed the vehicle pull into the Lowe's Travel Plaza just off I-25 in Banley. Officers witnessed the suspects attempting to commit another armed carjacking of a community member in the Love's parking lot. Based on numerous violent felonies continuing to be committed and the extreme risk to the public, officers were forced to re-engage the suspects and attempted to apprehend them to prevent the loss of life or serious bodily injury to the public. At approximately 7:45 p.m., officers continued to pursue the suspect vehicle northbound on I-25. The suspect vehicle exited I-25 at South Academy mile marker 135, where a tire deflation device was used to disable the vehicle. The vehicle was partially disabled but continued to elude officers eastbound on South Academy. Fountain police officers performed another TVI on the suspect vehicle on South Academy just east of Hartford Street. At that time, the driver jumped out of the vehicle and began to run from officers on foot. While officers were trying to apprehend the suspect, a Fountain police officer fell over the bridge and landed approximately 40 feet below in the riverbed. The suspect attempted to jump off the bridge to elude officers, at which time the officers grabbed him to prevent his escape and his fall. As the suspect was hanging over the bridge, he repeatedly stated to us, "Let me go, I want to die." Our police officers were able to pull him up to safety and place him into custody without incident. A total of 3 suspects were taken into custody and booked into the El Paso County Criminal Justice Center. The 2 male suspects listed below were arrested on active felony warrants, along with additional felony charges related to this incident. The female listed below was arrested on numerous felony charges. It's believed at the conclusion of the investigation there will most definitely be additional felony charges filed on all individuals. One of the suspects, who was the driver of the stolen vehicle, was later identified as 31-year-old Devin Bobian of Pueblo. The other two suspects were occupants of the stolen vehicle as well, were identified as 28-year-old Denisha Pacheco of Pueblo and 32-year-old Anthony Vallejos, also of Pueblo. The found police officer injured in this incident is Officer Julian Becerra. Officer Becerra has been employed as a sworn police officer with Fountain for approximately 4.5 years and is currently assigned to the patrol division as a canine officer. Our deepest thoughts and prayers are with Julian and his family right now during this most difficult time for them, and we pray for a speedy recovery. I'd like to mention that donations can be made to the Becerra family with the link that we've provided to you on our social media and this press release. There's specific instructions on how to complete the donation if we could have everybody follow those instructions. Our heartfelt thanks go to the Southern Colorado Law Enforcement Foundation for their continued support of law enforcement officers across the Southern Colorado region who have provided this donation link for us. I'd like to now thank everybody that was involved in the event yesterday, as every role from every different agency that was involved was vital to apprehending the suspect and ultimately having Officer Becerra brought safely to the hospital where he's currently resting. Of course, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office, who's actually going to be the lead agency in this investigation. Colorado Springs Police Department and their tactical units who assisted when we were in their city. And currently, the Colorado Springs police officers that are standing watch over our officer outside of his hospital door, taking care of their family. Colorado State Patrol, Department of Corrections Colorado Department of Corrections Parole Division. Now, the medical staff, I can't say enough about their efforts to get Officer Becerra out from where he was, which took about an hour, and into the helicopter to get him to the hospital. Security Fire Department, Stratmore Hills Fire Department, Fort Carson Fire Department, Flight for Life, the medics and doctors and nurses on that helicopter. And a special thanks to the doctors and nurses at the Penrose Hospital for their continued care of Officer Becerra and the hospitality for our officers when we invaded their hospital last night. I will now turn the microphone over to the Mayor, Sharon Thompson of the City of Fountain. Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Commander. Thank you for being here today. I'd like to convey again my sincerest thoughts and prayers for our Fountain Police Officer, Becerra, who was seriously injured yesterday evening while protecting our citizens from a dangerous threat to our community. I offer my sincerest concerns and regards to his family and want them all to know Fountain is behind them. I can't say enough how thankful and proud I am of our police department and other first responders, and I so appreciate the outpouring of support we have received from our community and our regional partners. Fountain remains focused and completely committed to maintaining a safe and secure environment for our citizens, and we remain determined and unwavering in our efforts to safeguard our community and be a good neighbor in our region. Please keep our police officer and his family in your prayers, and may God bless him and his family during this difficult time. Thank you. Lisa?
Okay, we will now open it up for questions.
Can you tell us a little bit more?
Melissa?
What is Officer Becerra's spirits like right now? I mean, we know the details of his condition, but is he talking? What kinds of things is he saying? Is he hopeful? Is he communicating with his loved ones?
So I'm going to be very limited in what I'm going to disclose about Julian's condition right now, obviously for medical reasons, but he's resting with his family and other Fountain police officers there. We will be there around the clock in some form or fashion. And due to his family's wishes, we're not really going to discuss his condition. I will tell you that he has not worsened since yesterday. We're still considering him critical and stable condition, and that's as far and as much detail as I can give about his current medical status. Yes, sir.
Can you say a little bit more just about the moment in time when the officer goes off the side, if you will? Weather a factor, pursuit a factor in terms of the speed of running to get to the moment, if you will? Can you speak any more to the actual moment that happened?
Yeah, it's, as I said, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office is investigating this. There's a lot of work still to be done with interviewing officers, reports to get done. So I don't have a lot of detail. We don't have really a lot of clarity on how Officer Becerra fell over the side. Whether it was a fall, a trip, a push, a slip, we really don't know. We're reviewing all the evidence that we have at the moment, and as soon as we can release the information in cooperation with the Sheriff's Office, we will.
Sir, are you at least able to say whether or not the suspect may have pulled him off?
That is not known at this time. Yes.
Just a logistic question. What is a TVI?
A tactical vehicle intervention. Methods is the way we stop vehicles safely, usually through spike strips in the road that will deflate the tires, different methods, but it's a safe way to stop a vehicle.
And was that the tire spikes, was that the only TVI used?
No, we actually used what's commonly known as a pit maneuver, which as a vehicle is traveling at a moderate rate of speed, we can get behind it and put it into a safe spin, and then officers can move in much quicker that way. That is what occurred yesterday.
Commander Cristiani, was the suspect that tried to jump off the bridge the same one that was tased by officers at the scene?
I can't say that for 100% certainty.
You did.
Melissa, hang on. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I just want to make sure this right. So the suspects were in a stolen car, and they attempted 2 more carjackings that night, or just 1 more?
We believe one. They were in a stolen car, and then the attempted carjacking at Love's. Those are the only 2 that we're aware of at this point.
Okay, and the stolen car they were in, was it stolen that night or previously stolen?
I do not know that information.
Melissa, did you?
This is just also a clarification. You had said Penrose Hospital, the Centura one downtown, correct? Not the one off of Woodman and Powers?
Correct.
That's the other Centura. Okay.
Correct.
Sorry, I thought it was St. Francis Hospital.
It's the Penrose system.
The Penrose-
Yeah, it's the
okay.
Penrose system, Penrose St. Francis system.
So is it?
I'm not going to get into
this.
this. I won't get into specifics of actually what hospital he's at.
The only reason I'm asking is we got video of a Flight for Life helicopter that looked like the same one landing at the downtown Penrose, but we don't want to
Okay.
use that video if that's the incorrect location.
To say that's the exact video, I don't know. I don't know. I'm really trying to protect Officer Becerra and his family.
Okay. No problem.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Does the city have any plans to provide any funding for medical expenses for the officers' family?
Yes, there are several things in motion right now as we speak. Of course, the city of Fountain, along with the mayor and her counterparts, are going to be working on that aspect of it with city benefits, and of course the donation link that anybody can donate to. And then, of course, there's police entities throughout the region here that have been in and out of here all day with monetary help and food, things like that. So that's ongoing as long as Julian's in the hospital and beyond.
Yes, ma'am.
The 3 suspects, if they've been charged with anything, and if they have been, what are the charges?
I'm not going to get into specific charges because of the El Paso Sheriff's Office investigation. I've been asked not to discuss that. They're currently being held right now, the male suspects, on their warrants that were previous to all of this. So that's what they're currently being held on.
The situation at the Love's truck stop, that car theft was attempted, but they didn't complete that, correct? Like that car was not stolen?
Correct. They did not complete that. They attempted to carjack at gunpoint of that victim, but it was not completed, most likely because our officers were right there.
Okay, so what happened after they saw officers? Is that when the chase started?
Yes, that is when the continued northbound pursuit happened. That's when we had to re-engage because of the danger to the community. The suspects obviously were not going to stop committing crimes in our city.
So how long after that until the vehicle was stopped on South County?
I would say at most 5 minutes, at most. The time it takes you to get from the Loves up to Academy, at most 5 minutes, probably less.
Natalie.
Were all 3 suspects taken into custody on the bridge, and how many weapons were recovered?
I'm not going to discuss the amount of evidence or weapons that was recovered. All 3 suspects were taken into custody in the area of the bridge.
But there was a gun, correct? Because you said the carjacking happened at gunpoint.
Yes, ma'am. There were firearms used at the carjacking at Love's. Beyond that, I don't know what was collected.
Based on the activity that this sounds like, I mean, one stolen vehicle coming from Pueblo up to the Springs and then another attempt at a car theft, is there any indication that these individuals were involved in a car theft ring, some sort of a criminal operation that is beyond just the acts that happened yesterday?
Yeah, all I can tell you is that they had active warrants that we were pursuing through the Department of Corrections. To get into what they were suspected of would be not wise at this point, just because there's so many things pending, and I really don't want to get involved in what the sheriff's office is trying to do for us.
I know they all have separate last names, but do they appear to be related or no?
I don't know that, if they're related biologically or not. I don't know that. I just know they're all from Pueblo. Yes, sir.
Have you had an outpouring of support just from the overall nationwide law enforcement community?
Absolutely. Through our social media, Lisa will tell you that her phone has been ringing all day long with different support, religious entities, other law enforcement agencies in the region and the country, of course. And there's been people coming in and out of this police department with all kinds of help and support, and just coming in to say they're sorry. And absolutely, we have a great community here, and that happens every time.
Yeah, you just touched on my question, but I was curious what support is being provided to the officers who are on scene who might be wrestling with some trauma.
Of course. I'm glad that's a great question. We have a peer support group here in Fountain of approximately 12 people. Lisa is a part of that group, and as soon as this incident was made aware at our department and everybody got word, the peer support team was activated, if you will. And just knowing that they're there, and there's many other peer support areas in this region that have also reached out to us. We also have local chaplains from local churches that are assisting us, and that were here last night immediately upon a call from our chief. So those are continuing to happen, but absolutely peer support for those officers that witnessed all of this, because they received just the same trauma as the officer that's fallen, to the victims of the crimes, to the witnesses passing by. So we're all in the same boat here when it comes to that mental health aspect of it. So absolutely, we're helping them as we speak.
Speaking with some residents that lived around the area last night, they said they heard like the sound like grinding metal or something like that. Was there any crash involved?
Yeah, and I'll speak about the crash because it's on social media, but as part of the tactical vehicle intervention, that does require us to make pretty strong contact with the vehicle. And then because this suspect wasn't stopping, we made sure that he wasn't going to go any further. So there was police vehicles involved in a crash, if you will.
You said the officer works with K9. Was this K9 there in the scene?
No, Officer Becerra's K9 was not on the scene. It was just him and his vehicle. Along with, there was no K9s from our department on scene, and I don't believe anybody else.
Who's taking care of his K9 now?
His K9 is resting at home with the rest of his family members. Yep.
Any other questions? No? Yes, ma'am.
Obviously, we talked about the stolen car. Can you guys give us a description, make and model?
I believe it was a Hyundai Tucson, tan or beige in color. I don't know the year at this point.
Anything else? Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys.